What are you willing to sacrifice to get where you want to go in this game? Bodybuilding, becoming the best that you can be in fitness. What are you willing to sacrifice? Big, big, big question. I had to ask myself that question, because I got family, I got kids, right? And for me, there were things that I had to sacrifice. It was fundamental to my success. But there were also things that I could not sacrifice and that I would not sacrifice. No matter how much money, no matter how much fame, you can't sacrifice those things. Now we'll get to those after, but first I want to talk about the things that you have to sacrifice. Unfortunately, when you're passionate about something and when you're chasing a dream or you're attracting a dream, whatever that is for you, for me it's bodybuilding, for me it's lifting weights, it's shaping my body and motivating people. And I had to come to terms with my friendships, had to come to terms with family, had to come to terms with work. There were so many things that I had to sacrifice. I couldn't go out and I couldn't party. I couldn't go out with my friends and spend my weekends in the club because I needed my sleep. I needed my sleep to grow. It was calculated. I couldn't just go out to some fast food restaurant and eat whatever I wanted to because I needed to make sure that I was eating what I had to eat to get where I wanted to go. I had to sacrifice friendships. Unfortunately, there's a lot of friends that will never understand what you're pursuing. When you're really, really passionate about something and you want it badly, when you want it so badly that you can taste it, and your life starts to reflect it, because that's the only way you'll ever get it. In my opinion, your life has to reflect it. There's friends that will never understand that, and they'll look at it as abandonment. Well, you know what, that's more important. The gym is more important. It's more important to you than what we do. You're not going to come chill with me anymore, right? With us. But you got to understand that, who you surround yourself with will directly influence who you become. So I call it the circle of five. I learned it from a guy named Jim Rohn. The 5 people you associate with will be the 5 people that you become. So if you surround yourself with 5 people who are incredibly successful and very financially independent and have a lot of money, surround yourself with them if that's your goal. If you want to have a lot of money, surround yourself with those kinds of people. If you want to be a lazy bum, surround yourself with 5 lazy bums. I guarantee you. You want to be a video game junkie? Surround yourself with 5 video game junkies. It's the same thing with success. For me, it's not just one thing. It's a lot of things. I want to be around people who are financially independent and who built incredible things in their life financially. I want to be around people who have amazing nuclear families. I want to be around people who have positive attitudes and inspire, not demotivate. I want to be around people that lift up, not pull down. Right? And so it's multifaceted here. I want to surround myself with people that lift me up. So you have to sacrifice those things in your life that are pulling you down. And it's hard, it's not easy. And a lot of times it can even be family. Okay? Family can be sometimes your worst critics, your friends, right? So you have to, unfortunately, you don't ever want to sacrifice family relationships, but you certainly want them to understand what it is you do and why it is you do it. So if they understand it, they're going to be more likely to support you. But some people won't be, and those are the people you need to push to the side. So there's things that you absolutely have to sacrifice. And that's such a big part of the game, is the sacrifice. When your food's on par, when you're eating 6, 7, 8 meals a day, and they're calculated, right? You can't be going to McDonald's eating cheeseburgers, right? When you're sleeping, you got to get that 8 hours of sleep. 6 to 8 hours of sleep, that has to be a prerequisite. You have to go to the gym 3 hours a day and train what you need to train and give it 115% every single time. You've got to make the sacrifices. If you don't make those sacrifices, you will never become what you want to become. But see, there's things that you can't sacrifice. Family, kids. You got kids, you can't sacrifice that relationship because that relationship is so much more important than just your passions. And you need to do what you got to do to make sure that your kids and your family are balanced. Now, I struggle, and I've struggled with this myself. So I had to make a conscious decision. And that decision was, I got my fitness, I got my ambitions, I got my pro status, I want to pursue whatever it is I want to pursue there. I want to be better, I want to motivate. But at the same time, I got a family over here that I got to be responsible for and motivate. But I believe that they're intertwined. If I give this up, what are they going to think of me? I'm thinking long term. So I'm looking at this over here, right? My passion has to be interconnected with my family. They have to be involved in the process and understand why I'm doing it. So there's some things you can't sacrifice. You can't sacrifice a relationship with your loved one, with your spouse, with the person you call your boo or whatever. Right? You got to understand that that's something that's important, and they got to be on par with you. There's got to be a balance in life. So the moral of this story is that the sacrifice has to be there. Without the sacrifice, you will not succeed. And I'm speaking, this is just coming from my own personal experience, but at the same time, there's certain things in your life that you will never sacrifice. And if you do, you may succeed over here, but everything else fails, and that's not success. To me, success is a balanced, I like to think of it, I had an old professor that said it's less of a balancing act than it is having individual sticks, and each stick has a plate spinning on it. Some plates are going to slow down, some plates are going to be going faster, but you do your best to maintain. You do your best to maintain. And you don't want to have too many plates going at once. So for me, I have my fitness, I have my passion to motivate, to be better. I also have my family, which is extremely important to me. And there's other things. But this is just a really simple way of trying to figure out and understand what you may need to sacrifice to be the best you can be. And if it's bodybuilding, then you got to do what you got to do to make that happen. Sacrifice what you need to sacrifice and lift up what you need to lift up. Peace out.